Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack a stack of sources to bring you the most important insights and surprising facts, helping you become well-informed fast.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into a powerful, yet really incredibly simple concept that has already transformed countless lives around the globe. We've compiled extensive notes and some really compelling excerpts from the 5-second rule. Transform your life, work, and confidence with everyday courage by Mel Robbins.
Yeah, and our mission for this deep dive is to, well, really explore the surprising origin of this simple yet profound rule. We'll then kind of peel back the layers to understand the fascinating science behind why it works, like what's actually happening in your brain when you use it.
Right.
And most importantly, we're going to uncover how you, our listener, can immediately apply it to ignite that everyday courage in your own life. You know, from boosting your confidence and maybe skyrocketing your productivity to enriching your relationships and pursuing your deepest, most fulfilling passions. This rule seems to offer a pathway to action.
Exactly. Get ready to discover a tangible, actionable tool that helps you bypass overthinking and procrastination, empowering you to stop stalling and really start acting. It's about unlocking the power of deliberate, courageous action in just 5 seconds. Let's unpack this and explore what that really means.
Okay, let's unpack this. So, starting at the very beginning with Mel Robbins' own journey. It's 2009, right? And imagine being in her shoes, 41 years old, facing what the source calls a deep personal and professional crisis.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about a small hiccup here. This was, significant, deeply entangled problems with money, her work, even the stability of her marriage. The feeling of dread was apparently so intense each morning that the snooze button, it wasn't just hit once, but repeatedly, like an automatic reflex almost.
And what's really interesting here, I think, is how that initial seemingly small act of hitting snooze became a symbol, right? Like a microcosm of this much larger paralysis affecting her entire life.
Yeah, it snowballed.
It did. It wasn't just a bad morning habit. It set the tone for her whole day. Her self-confidence, as she put it, was in a death spiral. She knew exactly what she should be doing. Getting up on time, being kinder to her husband, actively looking for a job, maybe drinking less, taking better care of herself.
All the things.
All the things. But despite the logic, she simply couldn't make herself do any of it. It's that incredibly common paradox, isn't it? Knowing what's right, but feeling utterly unable to act.
It's a feeling I think, many of us can absolutely relate to. That frustrating gap between knowing what needs to be done and actually taking that first step. Mel describes spending a lot of time just thinking about her situation. And what's interesting, maybe counterintuitive, is that this wasn't productive thinking. The more she worried, the more she analyzed, the more uncertain and, overwhelmed she became.
It's a classic cycle.
Exactly. A vicious cycle. Thinking led to magnifying her fears, which led to paralysis, and she just felt herself losing hope. She was literally trapped, by her circumstances, the decisions she'd made, money problems, this internal struggle. Even just getting out of bed on time felt impossible.
Which just erodes your confidence even more. So the question is, what breaks that kind of deeply ingrained habit loop, that hesitation, that self-doubt?
Right.
Well, the breakthrough, amazingly, came one night while she was watching TV, of all things. She described seeing a commercial featuring a rocket launch, complete with that iconic 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. And in that moment, an instinct, like a sudden flash of insight, just hit her.
Wow.
She had this thought, almost a whisper. That's it. I'll launch myself out of bed tomorrow, like a rocket. I'll move so fast I won't have time to talk myself out of it. It was just pure instinct, totally unanalyzed.
It's amazing how such a simple, almost random idea, born out of desperation, really, could spark such a turnaround. And here's the crucial part. This wasn't some big planned strategy.
No, not at all.
It was just an instinct, a fleeting thought, easily dismissed, especially feeling so defeated. But she acted on it. The very next morning, facing the same dread, the same cold Boston winter, instead of giving in to how she felt, she chose to ignore it.
That's key, ignoring the feeling.
Yeah, she didn't pause to think.
Yeah.
Instead of hitting snooze, she started counting backwards, 5.4.3.2.1.
Heroic.
And then, boom, she physically stood up. That was it. That's the moment the hashtag 5-second rule was discovered. It's about that immediate action, just overriding the resistance before it grabs hold.
It really highlights a crucial point, something we'll keep coming back to. The power of immediate physical action. Even when your feelings, your fears, your habits are screaming no. Our brains, they're wired to open up a task list when we set a goal. And our instincts fire up, signaling us to complete that goal when we're near things that can help.
Oh.
So this isn't just vague trust your gut stuff. It's about a real biological link between your brain's instinct to act and the deliberate action you take. The rule basically taps into this instinct, forcing you to override that rationalization that usually follows hesitation.
Okay, so when you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, what's actually happening in the brain? Because it's more than just a quirky ritual, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some profound psychology and neuroscience going on. When you do that countdown, you are actively mentally shifting gears. Psychologists call this asserting control.
Asserting control?
Yeah, it's a deliberate interruption of your brain's default patterns.
Huh.
The excuses, the overthinking, the self-doubt, and instead it forces your mind to focus on moving in a new desired direction. This starting ritual is incredibly powerful because it actively engages your prefrontal cortex.
Okay, the prefrontal cortex. Remind us what that does again.
Think of it as the brain's CEO, your executive control center. It's responsible for conscious decision-making, planning, problem-solving, overriding impulses. Normally, when you face something difficult or scary, your emotional centers, like the amygdala, they kick in first, creating that hesitation, that resistance.
Right, that uh-oh feeling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But by counting, you're basically bypassing that automatic emotional reaction, and you're actively engaging this powerful, rational part of your brain. You're forcing it to take charge and initiate action before your fears or excuses fully materialize and stop you. That tiny moment of hesitation, Mel Robbins calls it the kiss of death,
Yeah.
because it triggers a mental system designed to stop you from doing anything uncomfortable.
The kiss of death. Wow. Okay. And why backwards? That seems kind of specific.
It is specific,
Yeah.
and for good reason. The source explains it really well. If you count forward, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
your brain can just keep counting.
Right.
There's no inherent stop.
All right. 6, 7, 8.
Exactly. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 provides a hard, definite stop at 1, which acts as this powerful, immediate prompt to physical action. Just like that rocket launch she saw, once it hits 1, it's go time. The number 5 was just her instinct, she says, the right amount of time, but it could be 3 or 4, as we'll see.
Got it. So it creates that finite point for action.
Precisely. And the power of this rule, it really resonates with something we all know, that famous Nike tagline, just do it.
Right.
That word just is the key. It acknowledges that universal human struggle to push ourselves past hesitation and fear.
Yeah.
Every single one of us experiences these small hesitations, these internal debates before acting on things we know we should do. It's just part of being human.
Totally. Whether it's, I don't know, joining a pickup game that's already started or pushing for one more rep at the gym or even just, deciding to go for a run when it's raining, we all wrestle with our feelings.
We do. Our brain makes decisions based on how we feel, like 95% of the time. Not always logic. Subconsciously, we're asking, do I feel like doing this?
Yeah, and usually the answer is no if it's hard.
Often. So the 5-second rule provides that internal push, that override. When there's no coach or friend there yelling at you, you become your own motivator, forcing yourself past those often misleading feelings and into action.
So you become your own coach, essentially.
In a way, yes. And while 5 seconds is the baseline, the rule can definitely be personalized. The source mentions this great example with Matt, training for his first Tough Mudder race. In the freezing cold, no less.
Oh, wow.
He found he actually needed to shorten his window to 3 seconds. He realized his mind could whip up 2 solid excuses in 5 seconds, but only 1 in 3.
That's clever.
It is. It forced him to act faster, get that first sneaker on before his brain could shut him down completely. It shows the flexibility.
So it really emphasizes that the number itself isn't magic. It's the immediate decisive action it triggers. It's about beating that window 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever, where your brain starts to sabotage you, preventing that kiss of death.
Exactly. Allowing the prefrontal cortex to take charge. Okay, so let's move into the practical applications. The source makes this really profound point about courage that kind of reframes it.
Okay.
It's not just for Nobel Prize winners or historical figures like Rosa Parks or Nelson Mandela. The book highlights that everyday life is full of moments that are scary, uncertain, and difficult. Facing these requires tremendous courage, and the rule gives you a way to tap into it. Courage, it argues, isn't rare. It's a birthright. It's inside all of us, just waiting to be activated.
I like that. Courage is a birthright. And it really is about those small daily acts of bravery, isn't it? Like speaking up in a meeting when you're nervous, or finally asking for that raise you deserved.
Or putting your dating profile online again after getting hurt, or just walking through the door to face problems instead of pouring a drink. Small things, big courage.
Yeah. The author shares Catherine's story, which is incredibly powerful. After her sister died tragically in 1990, Catherine, just 30 and single, made what she called a no-brainer decision to raise her sister's two young kids, aged 1 and 3.
Wow, that's huge.
Right, and it illustrates that point. When you act with courage, especially when someone needs you, your heart speaks first. Your brain doesn't get bogged down in overthinking. It was a 5-second decision, this instinctual embrace of responsibility that changed everything for her, for them. She raised them, adopted them. Now she's a grandmother to their kids.
That's incredible. And we see this play out in more, let's say, common examples too. Like Jose, a salesperson who felt undervalued for years but was scared of rejection. He used the rule, found the courage to believe in his value, asked for a raise, got it, and then surprisingly got another bigger one months later.
Nice.
Or Juanita, who stopped just thinking about a job search, used the rule, picked up the phone right now. Her words called about a dream job she thought was a long shot and got it. And Gabe, realizing he was responsible for his life, used the rule to take that terrifying leap and start his own VR company, creating his dream career from scratch. These are everyday people using the rule to step into their power. It's that shift from focusing on what's required to what's possible, like Seth Godin talks about. It reframes these struggles as acts of everyday courage.
Okay, moving on to boosting confidence. There's this common idea that confidence is just personality, right? Either have it or you don't.
Yeah, a fixed trait.
But the source argues confidence simply means you believe in yourself and your ideas. And how do you build that belief? Through action, consistent action.
Exactly. You don't wait for it. You create it. The example of the engineer at the Cisco conference is brilliant. Mel Robbins gave attendees homework. Introduce yourself to 3 strangers using the rule.
Okay.
So this engineer identifies as a very introverting, kind of like Professor Brian Little talks about, adjusting free traits for a core project,
Right, pushing outside your comfort zone for something important.
Precisely. So next morning, he finds himself jogging next to Cisco CEO John Chambers in a park.
No way.
Yeah. He knows it's now or never. He hesitates, catches himself, counts 5, 4, 3, speeds up, taps Chambers on the shoulder, apologizes for interrupting, thanks him for his career.
Gutsy.
Totally. And it leads to this great 5-minute chat, and Chambers gives him the name of a senior innovation person, tells him to use his name. A direct contact with the CEO from a 5-second decision.
That's incredible leverage from one small act.
And speaking of introverts, what about Bill? He admitted, I have an issue being the real me. He described that habit, hesitating, overthinking, then never doing or saying what I should be doing.
So relatable. Leaves you feeling disconnected, unconfident.
Exactly. But the rule helped him start doing things that affirmed who he was, like getting up on time instead of snoozing for hours, speaking at church, making tough decisions at work he'd avoided. These small acts built his confidence because they were acts of courage for him.
Yeah, affirming his sense of self. Right. He even used it to write his story for the book and finally go to his 30-year high school reunion, even though he felt self-conscious. Each action reinforced his belief in himself.
And that free traits idea from Professor Little really shows that confidence isn't fixed. It's a muscle you build. Crystal's story, also from Cisco Live, shows that ripple effect. She realized she had second-guessed every step for 8 years.
Wow.
She decided to use the rule. Started small, sitting with strangers at a session. Next day, asked a question in a room full of male engineers, which inspired other women too.
That's great.
Went to a basketball game she didn't feel like going to, approached a VP for a card.
Yeah.
All these small, courageous acts initiated by the rule led to a new job, new title, new house, a total life change.
Incredible. And Jay from the Performing Arts High School getting more parts and not procrastinating on anything. That's huge.
It really is. Transformative shifts powered by decisive action.
Okay, now for a really big one. Conquering procrastination and boosting productivity. We often think procrastination is just laziness, right?
Yeah.
Or bad time management.
Yeah, that's the common view. But the research from Dr. Timothy Peichel at Carleton University shows something deeper, more, empathetic.
Okay.
Procrastination isn't really laziness. It's a coping mechanism for stress. Dr. Peichel's research shows it's this subconscious desire to feel good right now. It offers temporary relief, like emotional eating, but for your mind.
Huh. Emotional eating for the mind. I like that.
When you avoid a tough task, you get that immediate short-lived mood boost. You dodge the discomfort, but the work piles up, right? Creating more stress later. Short-term gain, long-term pain.
Right, the classic cycle. So if it's about stress relief, how do you break it?
Okay, the source gives 3 simple research-backed steps using the 5-second rule. First, and this sounds weird, forgive yourself for procrastinating.
Forgive yourself, really?
Seriously, Research shows students who forgave themselves for procrastinating on one test were less likely to do it on the next one.
That is counterintuitive. Why?
Because the guilt and shame from procrastinating actually increase stress, making you want to seek relief by procrastinating again. Forgiveness breaks that cycle. It lets you approach the task fresh without the weight of past failure.
Okay, that makes a strange kind of sense. What's step 2?
Understand why you procrastinate. It's to avoid discomfort or get temporary relief from other life stresses, not necessarily about the task itself. And third, once you get that, just get started. Use the rule as your starting ritual.
Just start. Okay.
Evelyn's story is a perfect example. She'd been procrastinating and questioning everything about myself for years. Heard the rule, tried it, felt amazing. Once she got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Joe, she stopped questioning and just did. Cleaned the living room, kitchen, dining room, 7 loads of laundry.
Wow, she went on a tear.
Totally. And felt amazing. This ties into the progress principle. Any forward progress, even small wins, boosts your mood and motivation. Your brain even remembers unfinished tasks better, nudging you to continue once you started. It's about momentum.
Building momentum, one 5-second decision at a time. Okay, and let's talk about a major productivity killer. The snooze button. That extra 15 minutes, it's not helping, is it?
Oh, it's actively harming your productivity. When you hit snooze, you force your brain to start a new sleep cycle, which lasts 110 minutes.
Whoa, right.
And the alarm goes off 15 minutes later, and your decision-making part of the brain, the cortical region, is still deep in sleep inertia. This is a real physiological state. Your cognitive functions are impaired, and it can take up to 4 hours for that groggy feeling to wear off fully.
4 hours? Wow, so that grogginess is legit.
Very legit. You interrupted a new sleep cycle. The solution: simple, non-negotiable according to the book. No snooze. Get up immediately. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 UP.
Okay, harsh but clear. The book that outlines a powerful morning routine, right? All kicked off by the rule. First, the alarm trip. Put it out of reach.
Yeah, like in the bathroom or across the room. Forces you to physically get out of bed. Avoids the temptation to check the phone or hit snooze again. You mentioned you do this.
I do. Phone in the bathroom. Just far enough I have to get up. Makes a difference.
Smart. Okay, next. While brushing your teeth, focus on your must list, not just a to-do list. Identify 1-2 critical musts for your goals and dreams, the stuff that really matters to you, not just daily chores. As one reader put it, the crap I don't feel like doing that guarantees progress.
Prioritizing your own goals first. And crucially, no phone or email first thing.
Absolutely critical. Protect your focus. Bill Gates, Oprah. They're not scrolling Instagram in bed. The second you check email or social media, someone else's priorities hijack your most focused hours. You switch from proactive to reactive instantly.
Good point. Then write down the musts and their why.
Yes. Surprisingly effective. Studies show writing goals makes you 42% more likely to achieve them. A visual reminder of the why adds that emotional push and keeps them top of mind. Cues you to act.
Okay. Then the 30 before 7:30 a.m. rule.
Right. Dedicate 30 minutes before 7:30 a.m. to plan or work on your most important musts. Grab that block of time for yourself, undistracted. Studies show CEOs are way more productive working at home early because they avoid constant interruptions. This is your time. Fight for it.
Got to protect that time. And finally, plan your quitting time. That seems counterintuitive for productivity.
It does, but it's powerful. Parkinson's law, work expands to fill the time allotted. Setting a deadline forces focus and efficiency. Plus, it ensures you rest, recharge, connect with family, crucial for long-term stamina and well-being. The author admits she has to use the rule to make herself stop working sometimes.
Ah, okay, fair enough. And Maury and Tony's stories show this works.
Beautifully. Maury, day 54 of her early wake-up ritual, finally taking control, starting a new book project. Tony, forcing himself back to the 5 a.m. gym routine he'd lost. These are everyday wins building incredible momentum, activating your best self.
Okay, let's shift to improving health. This is probably the biggest area for resolutions, but also where we fail most often. Why is getting healthy so hard?
Again, feelings. It always comes back to feelings overriding intentions. You'll never feel like working out after a long day. You feel deprived on a diet, feelings get in the way.
Yeah.
Anna used the rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got back on her spin bike after months.
Yeah.
Hyperventilating, but doing it. She said, everyone knows what they need to do, but feelings get in the way. Melanie used it to get off the damn couch, experienced freedom and breakthroughs just by starting.
And Erica, who lost 30 pounds, she nailed it. I was never going to feel like working out. The motivation doesn't just appear, but using the 5-second window bypasses the feeling. Now she's on day 7 of not missing a workout.
Yep.
Admits she still doesn't want to sometimes, but if she starts in those 5 seconds, it gets done.
It proves exercise is 100% mental. Your body follows your mind. The rule is huge for health because it pushes your mind past that initial, ugh, I don't want to, resistance.
Right, that internal debate that keeps you stuck on the sofa.
Exactly. And we hear about amazing transformations. Charlie went from 383 pounds down significantly, inspiring people with his bare belly progress photo. Shows how that push bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be.
That takes courage.
Huge courage. And Mark, committing to 5,000 push-ups, 2,000 pull-ups, 200 kilometers running in a month, even on vacation. Pushing past discomfort, knowing it primes his brain for other goals too, like finishing his book.
Wow, that's intense discipline.
It is. And Anouk just said, I really, really, really didn't feel like it, but did it anyway. Boom, boom, boom. Shows that raw impact of just pushing through.
Huh. Love that. And beyond fitness, the rule helps with scarier health challenges, too.
Definitely. Greg Cheek ran 10 marathons since his stage 3 cancer diagnosis. Incredible resilience.
10 marathons. Wow.
And Amy Roback, the Good Morning America host. Influenced by Robin Roberts, she made a 5-second decision to get a mammogram live on air for awareness. That act saved her life. Detected early breast cancer. While she didn't use the countdown, that external push in a 5-second window changed everything.
That's a powerful story. Okay, let's talk relationships. The source says waiting for the right time to get real. It's a mistake.
A fool's errand, it says. There's only right now. Our minds, unchecked, create these what-if loops, magnifying problems, creating distance.
Mel shares her own story about that, right? Her dad texted her to call, and her mind immediately jumped to the worst-case scenario.
Yeah. Grandma died. Financial ruin. Shows how fast uncertainty triggers worry habits, hijacks your mind. She even used the rule constantly to stop negative thoughts about her daughters traveling, imagining plane crashes, instead of just being excited to see them. It's a constant battle.
It really is. So the most impactful stories are about ending silence, choosing truth.
Exactly. Courtney, after years estranged from her father, used 54321 to just call him. Didn't overthink, just hit call. Courage overrode years of fear.
It must have been hard.
Immensely. And Mike learned to be more honest with himself and his wife. Realized my silence was the problem. Started having conversations he'd avoided, felt worthy, and connected again. Anthony stopped expecting his wife to read his mind, used the rule to lean into uncomfortable talks. Now feels closer to my wife and my needs are starting to be met. Realized silence was the root issue.
So truth, even when difficult, creates connection. Silence creates distance.
Precisely. Natasha used the rule to speak from the heart about her relationship feeling unsustainable after Rom died suddenly, shared how she really felt. Instead of ending things, it brought them closer, led to an engagement. Truth strengthened it.
Wow, that's powerful. And the story about Mary Tacey Bazies? That's heartbreaking.
It really is. Seeing her friend Josh twice in a grocery store, not speaking either time. First, didn't want to shout. Second, was in a hurry. No makeup. Days later, he was killed by a hit-and-run driver. That painful regret changed her. Now, when her heart speaks, that impulse to connect, she acts. Saw another friend, Jenny, hollered down the aisle, "Hey, Jenny!" A simple act born from profound loss.
And Josh himself. His mom called him the epitome of doing. He lived without hesitation, sent that heartfelt New Year's text hours before he died because he thought it, he sent it.
Didn't hesitate.
The message is just so clear. Leave nothing important unsaid. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go ahead and say it. You never know.
You really don't. Okay, finally, pursuing passion. So many people want to, but get stuck. They think passion just strikes you like lightning.
Yeah, like you just wake up one day and know.
But the rules suggest it's an active process. Curiosity is your guide. Pay attention to what you keep thinking about, what articles you read, even what makes you envious. Those are clues. The block is getting out of your head and into action.
So take simple steps. Read, watch videos, talk to people, take a class.
Exactly. Small, immediate steps. Momentum builds. Chris Auditory, a CIO at a bank, felt unfulfilled. Used the rule to explore his love for photography. Consistent small actions. Now he's a pro photographer, magazine covers, awards.
From CIO to photographer. Cool.
Right. Eric in Cambodia, starting an export business idea. Pushing himself daily, watching YouTube, reading books, turning an idea into reality, step by step.
It's about bumping into your passion through exploration, not waiting for it.
That's it, perfectly. Joe, a banker in London, felt stuck. took one class on limiting beliefs, used the rule to nervously email her network about coaching services. Positive response led to more sessions. Now she's building a whole new coaching career she loves. Momentum from small, brave actions.
And Todd's story, finding purpose in teaching after pressure to be a lawyer.
Yeah, shows how we sometimes follow paths that aren't ours. He's halfway through his teaching degree at 24, having more fun than ever, realizing this is exactly what I was supposed to be doing. His parents were ultimately more disappointed he'd been unhappy for so long than about him not being a lawyer.
Following his true calling.
Exactly. And like Hoyle says in The Alchemist, the treasure is often within you. No expiration date on finding your power or passion. It starts with belief, grounded in the courage to push yourself, take that first step, even scared or unqualified. You have something unique. Listen to what's inside, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go where it leads.
So right now, people everywhere are using this, quitting toxic jobs, starting businesses, going back to school, facing fears, rebuilding after loss. They feel scared, but they move anyway.
They push themselves forward, deliberately, despite the feelings. The secret isn't eliminating fear. It's honoring your heart and making that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and move decision. They get the alternative. Missing out, living on autopilot, dying before you've actually pushed yourself to live.
That's stark, and we see these transformations. Dan, 44-year-old freshman registering for finance classes, #nevertooled. Shirley in Honolulu losing her husband, using the rule to just start walking again in Waikiki, slowly opening doors closed by grief.
Julie in Santa Monica, raising $5,000 for cancer research by making those nervous calls, gaining confidence. Pulkit in New Delhi, taking risks, growing in amazing ways, giving his best shot. And Kelly, just writing, my 5 seconds, I'm now moving to France. Profound personal revolutions.
And he can even be life-saving. Steve, the veteran with PTSD, on that ferry, lowest moment.
Yeah, contemplating ending it all. Remember the rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, moved away from the railing, sought help. In that split second, found the courage to save his own life.
Unbelievable courage.
And James, losing his brother to suicide. Steve's story hit him hard. I wish my brother took 5. I can never change that, but I can change myself. Now using 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to run a 100-miler for his brother, embracing his passion again, carrying that quote, you can move the mountain that stands before me.
Wow. Finding purpose through action. See, we really can't change the past. That's just true. But what you can change right now in 5 seconds is your future.
One moment of courage can change your day. One day can change your life. And your life, well, you can change the world through those ripples. There is greatness in you, seriously, waiting. The time to reveal it is now. 5.4.3.2.1, Jure.
What an incredible deep dive into the 5-second rule. Really is a powerful reminder, isn't it? The biggest changes start with those tiny acts of courage, choosing to move.
Absolutely. Whether it's a personal challenge, wanting more confidence, better productivity, deeper relationships, or exploring a passion, the principle holds. Honor your instincts, push past the hesitation, just move forward.
Remember, you absolutely have the power within you to create the life you want. It just takes that decisive moment, choosing action. So after hearing all this, what will you launch into next?
Yeah, we really hope this deep dive sparked some new insights, maybe gave you a tangible tool you can use right away, like today. Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive.
Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and keep taking those courageous leaps.